You'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur. I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur.
I don't eat. Like, what kind of long jump Carl Lewis leap are we making here? They traded up to wreck his career. That's how diabolical the Browns are. They traded up so that they can say, screw the Sanders family. We're going to show him. We're going to run a ball into the ground. What he's very clearly saying for anybody with a lick of common sense is when they left the building Friday night, when he kept falling and kept falling and kept falling on Saturday, regardless of whose decision it was to move up to get him, as an organization, they made the decision to move up to get him, not because they're trying to tank this poor kid's career, because they have a job open at quarterback.
He could be speaking to the city of Cleveland as if to say, don't blame me for this one. That is the man that gave Deshaun Watson guaranteed $230 million, which right now is going down as arguably the worst trade in NFL.
The Cleveland Browns might be sitting on one of the most gifted quarterbacks they've seen in years, and yet he's barely touching the field. Shedeur Sanders, the son of NFL legend Deion coach Prime Sanders, came into the league with the spotlight on him and the numbers to back it up. He's sharp, composed, and by all accounts dominating in practice. But here's the shocking part. Despite his talent, he's been buried on the depth chart, given only a handful of reps, and fans are starting to whisper the word nobody in Cleveland wants to hear: sabotage. Across sports shows, analysts are accusing Browns ownership of playing a dangerous game, and some even claim this isn't just about football, it's personal. But is Shedeur Sanders really being held back? Or is this just classic NFL politics playing out behind the scenes? Today, we're breaking down the explosive rumors, the viral comments from analysts like Stephen A. Smith, and the behind-the-scenes drama that has the NFL buzzing. And by the end of this video, you'll have to ask yourself, is Cleveland protecting their team or trying to destroy a young star's career before it even begins?
A ton of snaps in this preseason, and let's see what he can do. But the idea that they're trying to sabotage him is so stupid that I just can't even, I'm just done. I can't even wrap my head around it. And to try and to manipulate what he said into some idea that he didn't want, or that they didn't want.
To understand why this storm is brewing, we have to rewind to draft day. Shedeur Sanders wasn't supposed to fall. Analysts projected him as one of the most promising young quarterbacks of his class. His accuracy, composure, and ability to command an offense were clear for everyone to see. Yet somehow he slid all the way to the 5th round, a free fall that stunned fans and sparked questions. Then came the moment that lit the fire. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam casually told reporters he never even thought about drafting Shedeur Sanders. Not once. To some, it sounded like he was shrugging off the team's newest quarterback. To others, it was a calculated move to distance himself, especially since this is the same man who handed Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed, a move still criticized as one of the worst trades in NFL history. Online, speculation exploded. Sports talk hosts and insiders started piecing together the narrative. Was this fall a coincidence? Or a quiet statement aimed at Deion Sanders himself? Even local reporters in Cleveland noted how strange it was for an owner to publicly downplay his rookie QB. One analyst said bluntly, if Haslam didn't want him, then why move up to get him at all?
And to try and to manipulate what he said into some idea that he didn't want, or that they didn't want him, like, I just don't understand how you can make that. I would love someone to logically explain it to me.
The mixed signals only fueled the fire. And that was just the beginning, because as camp opened, the drama only got louder. Once training camp kicked off, Shedeur Sanders wasted no time proving he belonged. Reporters on the ground described him as calm, accurate, and efficient, making throws that turned heads. His early camp stats were impressive: high completion rates, 0 interceptions, and a confidence that had veteran teammates nodding in approval. But then came the twist nobody saw coming. Despite shining in the reps he did get, Shedeur wasn't anywhere near the first-team offense. Instead, the Browns gave priority to players like Dylan Gabriel and even rotated other backups ahead of him. And this wasn't just a one-off. Multiple days in a row, Shedeur's practice time was limited to just 3 or 4 reps, numbers that made analysts furious. Former NFL safety Louis Riddick flat out said this isn't how you evaluate a young quarterback. You can't bury a rookie on the depth chart and then claim he's not ready, he argued. Even Shedeur's father, Shedeur Sanders, quietly revealed the frustration. In a rare moment, he admitted he didn't even want to attend camp because his son told him, "Dad, I'm barely getting reps." For fans, that was the first real sign that something bigger might be going on behind the scenes.
He could be speaking to the city of Cleveland as if to say, don't blame me for this one. That is the man that gave Deshaun Watson guaranteed $230 million, which right now is going down as arguably the worst trade in NFL.
And the whispers of sabotage started to get louder. Because if a rookie is performing well, putting in the work, and earning respect in practice, why keep him buried on the depth chart? And this is where the story takes a darker turn. Because some insiders believe this wasn't about football at all. The whispers of sabotage didn't stay whispers for long. By the second week of camp, national sports shows were on fire with the Shedeur Sanders story. Analysts weren't holding back. Some outright accused the Cleveland Browns front office of intentionally trying to bury their rookie quarterback.
You'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur. I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur.
First came Jason Lloyd, a respected Cleveland sports insider. He publicly questioned why a player working this hard was being held back. Lloyd slammed Browns owner Jimmy Haslam, asking why the front office would undermine a rookie who's only trying to help the team. "If you're going to draft him," he said, "then give him a fair shot. Otherwise, what are you even doing?" Then Stephen A. Smith entered the conversation, and he turned the controversy into a national headline. On live television, Stephen called Haslam a coward, accusing him of trying to manipulate the narrative. He claimed this wasn't about football at all, it was personal. According to Stephen, Haslam's comments and actions were part of a bigger plan to send a message to Shedeur Sanders himself.
Understand what's going on here. That's why Haslam was in his car on a Friday talking about, I can't see it happen.
"You want to come after my son to get to me? That's what this looks like," he argued. Even Louis Riddick, usually measured, didn't hold back. He shredded the idea that Shedeur was getting a fair chance, calling the situation a blatant misrepresentation of reality. His voice cracked with frustration when he revealed that Shedeur had just 4 reps in a single day of practice, and that he even asked his father not to attend camp because it was so humiliating.
Hey man, he's unflappable. We have been through so much as a family, as athletes, that he is prepared for everything. The only thing that really hurt me, when they started the line and saying he wasn't prepared or he was this or he came in with headphones on. I know my sheep. I know my son. I know what I raised. I know better than that. Shedeur ain't never.
By this point, the story wasn't just about a rookie QB anymore. It had become a firestorm of accusations, finger-pointing, and speculation about what was really happening inside the Browns organization. And yet, even as the media roasted Jimmy Haslam and the Browns, some voices defended the team, insisting this wasn't sabotage at all. While the national media was ready to light up the Browns, not everyone bought into the sabotage story. In Cleveland, some analysts and former players pushed back, arguing that fans were overreacting. Local radio host Ken Carman insisted the team had no reason to tank Shedeur Sanders' career. "The Browns are giving him time to develop," Carman argued. "You can't just hand a rookie the keys because Twitter says so." Former Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar also stepped in with a calmer perspective. He praised Shedeur's poise and talent, but reminded fans that rookie QBs rarely get first-team reps right away, especially when the team already has veterans competing for the job. To Kosar, the limited practice time wasn't sabotage. It was standard NFL politics.
One, he has to have opportunity.
He get
to do
opportunity.
that. Well,
He
okay.
get opportunity.
His own father said he didn't want him to come to training camp because he doesn't get any reps. Okay? His own father said he doesn't want me to come to training camp because he said, Dad, I'm getting maybe 3 or 4 reps of practice.
And that's the heart of the debate. Was this a team carefully developing a rookie behind the scenes? Or a front office quietly burying a talent they never wanted in the first place? Even GM Andrew Berry addressed the growing noise, suggesting the team was simply following a plan and that Shedeur would get his opportunities in due time. But his response didn't stop the online firestorm. Fans weren't convinced, especially as they watched less talented QBs taking reps while Sanders stayed mostly sidelined. The Browns could insist all they wanted that this was normal, but the rumors weren't going away, and the next twist only made things worse. Just when fans thought things couldn't get any more frustrating, a new twist hit training camp. Reports surfaced that Shedeur Sanders was dealing with arm soreness. The team quietly pulled him from certain drills, and suddenly, his limited reps became even fewer. To the outside world, it looked like the Browns now had the perfect excuse to keep him buried behind Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett on the depth chart. This is where the speculation exploded. Some fans believed the team was using the minor injury to justify limiting him, essentially putting him out of sight and out of mind. Others worried that by giving him so few opportunities, the Browns were setting him up to fail. Because in the NFL, if you don't get live reps, you can't prove yourself. Even analysts sympathetic to the Browns admitted the optics were terrible. A highly touted rookie with strong practice numbers, almost no first-team opportunities, and now a convenient injury to explain why he's barely playing. Meanwhile, fan pressure was boiling over. Social media was flooded with posts demanding to see Sanders in preseason games, and hashtags calling for the Browns to #free Shedeur began popping up on X and Instagram. The team could only hold back the noise for so long, and the tension in Cleveland was reaching a breaking point. Because if Shedeur didn't see the field soon, the next chapter could get even uglier. Up to this point, the controversy had been fueled by analysts, fans, and reporters. But then it got personal. Deion Sanders, better known as Coach Prime, had been quietly watching the drama unfold. He stayed away from camp, at his son's request, knowing Shedeur was barely getting 3 or 4 reps a day. But when the chatter about his son being unprepared or overhyped started spreading, Coach Prime broke his silence, and he didn't hold back. In a heartfelt moment during a training camp media spot, Deion defended his son with raw emotion. "He's unflappable," Deion said firmly. "We've been through too much as a family, as athletes, for anything to shake him. He's prepared for everything." Then he addressed the lies and narratives head on. He called out the false claims that Shedeur showed up with a bad attitude or wasn't putting in the work. "I know my son. I know what I raised. I know better than that shot," he said, his frustration clear. Deion's words hit hard because they came from a place no analyst could touch. A father and NFL legend watching his son fight an uphill battle he didn't deserve. His message was clear. Shedeur was ready, he was working, and the problem wasn't him. This family pushback fueled the controversy even more. Fans who were already angry at the Browns now had Coach Prime's emotional testimony to rally behind. And for the first time, it felt like the battle for Shedeur Sanders' career was spilling out of the locker room and into the national spotlight. But just as Deion's comments went viral, another voice jumped into the mix, one that would turn the pressure on the Browns up to maximum heat. By now, what started as whispers in Cleveland had erupted into a full-blown national firestorm. Every major sports show was talking Shedeur Sanders, and the Browns were taking hits from every angle. Stephen A. Smith doubled down, calling Jimmy Haslam's behavior a pathetic attempt to protect his own ego. He went as far as saying the Browns were sending a message to Deion Sanders by burying his son. Meanwhile, Louis Riddick took the discussion to another level. He looked straight into the camera and asked the question that stopped fans in their tracks.